Israeli citizenship law enshrines racism and tribal chauvinism. On October 10, 2010, the Israeli cabinet approved changes to the citizenship law that would require only non-Jewish citizens to declare loyalty to Israel as a Jewish and democratic state. This decision proves once again that Israel has institutionalized discrimination and is a democracy only for its Jewish citizens and not for its Muslim and Christian citizens. If the state is defined by religion, it cannot treat all its citizens equally, as required of a truly democratic system of government. Predictably, though, Israel is following the natural evolution of a country founded on a race-exclusive basis. The racist ideology which has destroyed so many Palestinian lives in the occupied West Bank and Gaza is now turning inwards. The Zionist state's latest victims are the fifth of Israel's population, who are Palestinian Muslims and Christians. They are the remnants of the Palestinian people who stayed on their land during the Great Dispossession of 1948, known as the Nakba, and they eventually gained Israeli citizenship. The idea that Muslims and Christians, who have lived on the land for generations before the creation of the State of Israel, should be relegated to second-class citizenship because they're not Jewish, is illiberal. It is also racist. Arab parliamentarians in the Israeli Knesset condemned the move, saying it is a continuation of ethnic cleansing policies in place since Israel's establishment in 1948, since the law specifically targets people looking to gain Israeli citizenship after marrying a Palestinian Arab citizen of Israel. Dr. Jamal Zahalka, parliament member, said, "There are two systems in Israel, one for Palestinians and one for Jews. We are challenging the Israeli state in its definition of democracy and exposing the contradictions between Zionism and democracy. We say that the state should represent all its citizens, while Israeli leaders claim that it is a Jewish state and that it belongs only to one part of the population." Dan Meridor, a Likud party member, said that the law would humiliate the 1.5 million Palestinians who are citizens of Israel by reinforcing their feeling that they are second-class citizens, and it will widen the rift between them and the state. Minorities Affairs Minister Avishai Braverman called it infuriating and irresponsible. He said it would encourage efforts to delegitimize Israel around the world. Canadian politicians have a responsibility towards justice, to recognize the intentions of the Israeli government and to speak out against these policies. By describing itself as a Jewish state, Israel is going against both Canadian and international values, which say that racism is never, in any situation, an internal matter. From now on, Canadians will view any claim on the part of some Canadian politicians that Canada and Israel have shared values. They will view that as an insult to Canada and the Canadian people, and as an attempt to import repugnant Israeli policies and practices into Canada, said Khaled, Mouammar, Canadian Arab Federation National President. There are currently more than 35 Israeli laws explicitly privileging Jews over non-Jews. Other Israeli laws appear neutral, but they are also applied in a discriminatory fashion. Consider what it would be like if our constitution defined Canada as a white Christian democratic state. If our laws still barred marriage across ethnic religious lines. If our government appointed a chief priest empowered to define membership criteria for the white Christian nation. If our government legally enabled immigration by white Christians only while barring it for others. if our government funded a center for demography that worked to increase the birth rate only of white Christians to ensure their majority status. I am sure that all Canadians would reject that. But these are examples which have all parallels in Israeli practices. One of the lessons of the struggle against South African apartheid is very simple. Racism should be defeated, not compromised, and this can be achieved non-violently through an international campaign of boycott, divestment and sanctions. We call on Canadian civil society to join the international boycott, divestment and sanctions campaign launched by the Palestinian people against Israeli racism, said Khaled, Mouammar, Canadian Arab Federation National President.